for 5 minutes.
I thank the gentleman from West Virginia, and I thank him for his extraordinary leadership on this issue and for the legislation he's bringing out here on the House floor, especially with the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Emanuel, for his work on this legislation. Right now, we are facing an energy crisis. The Bush administration and Republicans in Congress are perpetuating a myth that the oil companies don't have access to enough places to drill for oil. This story is nothing more than a drilling decoy. We might as well put an aquarium out here in the well. There are so many red herrings that the Republicans are throwing into this debate about our energy independence. Roughly 80% of all of the oil and gas are located in areas where drilling is already allowed. 68 million acres, 80% of the resources in America. So, ExxonMobil, everybody in America pulling in to their ExxonMobil station. They made $40 billion last year. Do you know what they did with their $40 billion? They put $32 billion of it back into buying their own stock. They were drilling for profits in their own stock, not on the lands where America wants them to go and to find the oil and gas where they are already permitted. Now, what did they do on renewables, ExxonMobil? They took $10 million, million dollars, just millions of dollars, 10 million, and put it into renewables. You know what else the oil industry is doing, and the Bush administration and the Republican Congress? They're blocking the tax breaks still today for renewables, for solar, for wind, for geothermal, blocking them. So there's their agenda. Tip the consumer upside down at the pump, keep the supply of oil down because they're not drilling on the 80% of the land where we say they can go, even offshore, and go and drill, pocket the profits for themselves, nickel and dime renewables, and then block the tax breaks for renewable energy revolution in America. It's a recipe for disaster, but it's no mistake why we're here. You cannot have an oil and gas president and vice president for 8 years and not have an oil and gas strategy for America. And the price that we're paying at the pump is the price we're paying for allowing that policy to be implemented for these 8 long years. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2% of the world's oil reserves. 2%. We consume 25% of the population. The Republicans are saying we have 25% of the oil that we consume on a daily basis. They're saying, let's drill off the beaches. Let's drill where the polar bear is. Although they're not willing today to put a penalty on the oil industry for not drilling where the 80% of the oil is. Would the gentleman yield? I will not yield at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big mistake. OPEC has 2/3 of the oil in the world. That's their strength. Rather than sending a message to OPEC, we are going to innovate our way out of this with wind and solar and renewable energy sources. The Republicans are blocking the tax breaks for that and saying give bigger profits to oil and gas. Don't penalize them for not drilling for the oil and gas here in America where we have access to it, and then go home on the 4th of July and pretend as though this 8 years of Republican rule where we've gone from $30 a barrel to $130 a barrel for oil is not on their watch. It is, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone from 46% dependence on imported oil on the day the Republicans took over Congress to 61% dependence upon imported oil on the day they left office 1 year ago. That's why we're in the mess that we're in right now. The American public needs help. We need to send a message to big oil, to big gas. Start drilling. Start drilling right now or lose the leases that the American people have given you. Do not warehouse these leases. Do not warehouse the oil and gas here in America. Let's put the penalty on them. Let us no longer have the policy set by big oil, by big gas and OPEC. Let us today declare independence from them. Let us say we're taking those leases back from you. We're taking it back, the American land where the oil and gas is. If you don't drill on it, you lose it. And we're going to penalize you for allowing this crisis to build to the point that it has today. Ladies and gentlemen, support the Ray Hall bill. This is the day where we begin to break and create our own independence from big oil in our country. And I yield back the balance of my time.